The bowlers, very good afternoon. Welcome to Inside Edge, backed by popular demand. Myself hosting, Stephen Fleming and Brendon McCullum. And what we're going to do today, we're going to talk about slip fielding. So before I get to that, it's obviously Ross Taylor's last test match, but let's go back, one of New Zealand's best first slippers, and have a look at this catch that he took in the first test up at Bay Oval. It'll set the theme for what we're going to talk about here on Inside Edge. Diving, he was nearly a second slip and took it in the right hand. A fantastic effort of Jamison. It's not an easy place to field. It's certainly a specialised one. So we're looking forward to talking to Stephen Fleming, the New Zealand's very best, and Brendon McCullum about slip catching, and also New Zealand's best slip fielders and also best slip caught. And we've got a couple of people who've sent in some messages already, gentlemen, to just set the tone. We've got Mark from Christchurch, who's already texted in and said, Roscoe at 1, Flem, you're at 2, Southey at 3, Coney at 4. And then we've got Sam from Christchurch. Looks like only Christchurch people watching, maybe because that's Tom Latham's been batting. Flem, you're at 1 this time. Roscoe's been moved to 2. And we've got bracketed Young and Coney at 3. As I said, we're back by popular demand. No more stories from me today. I'm going to let it about you gentlemen talking. But slip fielding, Flem, I mean, I've got some stats here. You're right at the top. You're the first slip for New Zealand. I think your average point, just under 1 catch in an innings. It's the highest ratio in Test history. The position that you grew up fielding in?
Wasn't the fastest in the outfield, Sid, to be honest. So
certain set of skills.
My hands were a little bit bigger, palm-wise.
Just show how big your hands are.
So
put them up. Look at that.
Yep. So
that's a man and a boy there.
Yeah. So the palms were sort of made for catching. So once we identified that there was a skill set, I had to work from 3 for Canterbury into 1, and then I'm not sure. My first test I got to 3rd slip, and I'm not sure how I got in. I heard Ross talking earlier about how you work your way into 1, but I was very lucky to get in there for a majority of Test cricket and agree with Ross. It's the best place in the house. You get a bit of company in long days. Some company you like, some you don't. And you learn to really appreciate the game. The technique itself is one about concentrating on and off, and also having a great set of bowlers that create the opportunities to get those catches. And with those catches, I had some wonderful bowlers, some wonderful seam swing bowlers, and really enjoyed it, especially in New Zealand conditions. You're always in the game, so yeah, I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, your stats, 171 catches and 111 matches, so outstanding. Did you drop many?
Yeah, I dropped 2. No, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Another story. I mean, Baz keeping, you kept alongside Flem. I mean, well, you're starting the marker, but let's say take the gloves off. They often assume that keepers are good slippers. Was that the case with you?
No, I wasn't a good slipper at all.
Phew, I'm glad you said that, because that would have been a story from Sid.
Right.
Okay.
Do you want to have...
No, because you said no, so I don't have to get into my stories just yet. We will if you don't do your job.
I didn't mind the slips caught in, but I felt as captain I preferred to be a little closer to the bowlers. And plus we had very good slippers, so there was no need for me to get in there. So, yeah, interesting, because I look at slips fielding as very specialised area, so it's interesting that both those first 2 slips caught-ins had Fleming and Taylor in various spots at 1 and 2, because to me they're both very specialised first slip fielders. So I didn't find room in my slips caught-in for both of them.
Right, so give me your slips caught-in, Brendon, you start.
Well, I've gone for Fleming.
Yes.
And that's certainly nothing against Roscoe, but I just felt that Flem was first to the pot, really, wasn't he? So
he's opening the batting for you, and he's a first slip.
Well, and also he's sitting beside me, right? Yeah. So it would have been awkward if I hadn't have. So I've gone for Fleming at 1. Roscoe as a backup. And then I've gone Coney at 2. Yep.
I've got Jeremy Coney's stats here, but keep going.
Yes, I've either in front of me here too. And then I've actually gone a little controversial one. I've gone Martin Guptill at 3, because I'm only going to have 3 slips, and I want someone that can cover a bit of ground. And there's very few in the game that I've seen that are as good at coverage in the slips caught-in as Martin Guptill. Outstanding hands. Notable mentions to honourable mentions to Tom Latham.
Yes.
And Nathan Astle, but they didn't quite make my grade, and I had Kane Williamson at Gully.
So you're not taking into consideration maybe the 80s and 90s?
Well, Coney's in there.
Oh, Coney, sorry, yeah, you're right. I wasn't listening.
No, see, that's the problem.
I was already getting
We're
ready
born
for
with
Flems.
two ears and one mouth, remember? Anyway, and also I'm quite interested, Sid, in the conversations in that slips cordon.
Yes, that's going to be the next question. We'll get there quickly.
Yeah.
So, Flem, your best slip cordon for New Zealand?
Yeah, I went with players that I'd played with.
You're allowed to pick yourself too, remember?
No, I haven't picked myself.
You
I've
haven't?
got
Okay.
no, and the substitute great Ross Taylor at 1.
Okay.
Brian Young
Oh, yeah.
at 2. Keeper, wonderful set of hands, silky set of hands, and a very good second slipper. And Nathan Essel at 3, who had the ability to do the ordinary well, but do the extraordinary very well. He would pluck some great catches, not only in slips, but all around the place. So that'd probably be 1, 2 or 3. The mentions are Coney, who I think was outstanding slipper to Richard Hadley. And the modern era, like Latham, again, is shown today with 2 catches, very easy. Again, keepers, Young, Latham, both keepers. I'm surprised that slipping for you wasn't a good thing. But you're quick, you're fast. It's too slow and slips for you. You would have got bored.
How do you think the conversations would go?
Yeah, I was going to... So give me the conversational slip cordon. We haven't got a lot of time. The ones that you want to have. Who did you want to have in there for the stories, Flem?
Well, at times we did need some good conversation because we spent some long times there. Nathan is a good mate, so he was at second for a lot of that time. Brendon was at keeper. Well, I remember one game at Headingley, we spent a bit of time. We had to get really close. Usually we were spread out, but we had to get in to cover Baz one game. I think it was how many bars? 45. So we got really tight. We got really tight there where the ball was swinging. We sort of had one on either side. But
Taylor goes in at 1 for me.
Yeah, it's for change.
No, but it's pretty much he's in there. Good chance to chat and enjoy the day, and from a captaincy point of view, discuss a few things. So float a few ideas around and get a bit of a consensus going. So yeah, you get the credit, but it's probably come from either side.
What about you, Sid? What was your slips cordon?
Oh, I didn't want to name mine because my story sort of went nowhere that yesterday through.
All right, off.
But no, I think wouldn't disagree. Flem 1, without a doubt, and then probably 2. I think Brian Young. I just remember because he used to put the ball in the pocket. But then in 3, I mean, I think Tim Southey's shown his worth. I think Scott Storis was a very good 3.
Can't move though, Storis.
Yeah, but you don't want him in the
good when it came straight to him. Not great laterally.
Yeah. So
sorry, Scotty.
And I had some honourable mentions. I remember Jeff Crow being very, very good there, growing up. Also,
what about when you got your 6? Who was the Australian cordon during that one day game?
Yeah, it's a good question that, friend, because they had 6 of them. I couldn't tell they were that far back. They were that far back.
Sort of third man, were they?
Yeah, they were. So I was never invited to the slips. I don't know. Maybe my stories weren't good enough.
Yeah, the helmet man, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I used to get hit under there. I wish we could continue this on, guys. I really do. Let's hope tomorrow we're still here and we can get some more viewer feedback and keep this relationship going. It's been well.